I welcome all of you to a video lecture series on computational fluid dynamics, development, application, and analysis. This lecture is on how CFD application works. This is the fourth lecture of the on introduction on CFD, which is corresponds to chapter 1 of the companion book of this lecture series. This is the companion textbook on introduction to computational fluid dynamics, development, application, analysis. This book consists of 3 parts. Part 1 on introduction essentials, part 2 on CFD for a Cartesian geometry, and part 3 on CFD for complex geometry. So this lecture is devoted to how CFD application works. All the fluid mechanics problem, when you do CFD simulations, all of them follow the conservation law like mass, momentum, and energy conservation. However, the results for the various problems changes due to the following reasons which will be discussed in this slide. So the results which you obtain from CFD simulation or a fluid dynamic movie which you obtain for each problem vary due to first shape and size of the flow region or the computational domain. Second, the fluid properties like densities, kinematic viscosity, and so on. Third, initial condition and boundary condition. Basically, the shape and size of the flow domain in the CFD simulation, when we do grid generation, we obtain the geometrical properties of the control volumes of the while doing the grid generation, and those geometrical properties and the thermophysical properties corresponds to the coefficient of linear algebraic equations. So if the change in the fluid property, the results changes. Like if you are doing simulations for water versus air, the results depends on the fluid property. Similarly, whether you are doing simulation for flow in a pipe or a square duct. So when there is a change in the shape of the internal cross section from square to circular, there is change in the result. The result also depends on the initial condition and boundary condition for the shape and size of the domain and for having same fluid properties. In fact, initial condition and boundary conditions are play an extremely important role to a fluid mechanics problem. They act like a jury to the problem. They dictate the solution. The initial condition, as I mentioned earlier also, that this gives you the first picture of your movie, and the boundary condition give you the information about, when I have mentioned earlier that we have a boundary grid point. So the boundary conditions give you the value of the flow properties at the boundary grid points for all time durations. CFD software cannot be completely automated. User inputs, as I mentioned above, shape and size of the domain, fluid properties, initial and boundary conditions. These are essentials for doing a CFD simulation. This slide shows the various types of initial and boundary conditions which you encounter. This is presented for 3 representative problems. First on a heat conduction, second on an external flow problem, and third on an internal flow problem. Let us first consider a heat conduction problem in a plate. Let us suppose this is a plate which is initially at a temperature, some fixed temperature, T0. So this is the initial condition corresponding to the problem. So if you do a grid generation, as I had shown earlier, the yellow grid points which you get inside the domain, all of them will be at a temperature T0. You get the first picture corresponding to the initial condition. Now in this problem, the boundary conditions are such: left wall is maintained at constant wall temperature, bottom wall is insulated, right wall is constant heat flux, and the top wall you have a convective heat transfer boundary conditions. So this slide shows the various types of boundary conditions that is commonly encountered, such as constant wall temperature, insulated, constant heat flux, and convective boundary conditions. Note that this constant wall temperature is called as Dirichlet boundary conditions, whereas all the other boundary conditions are called as gradient type of boundary conditions. So the boundary temperature do not varies with time. In this case, when you have a constant water temperature, whereas when you have a gradient type of boundary conditions, the boundary temperature evolves with time. This now we are showing. Now I'll show you the boundary condition corresponding to an external flow problem. External flow problem is like flow across an aeroplane or flow across a car, where the size of the domain is infinite. However, when we do CFD simulation, we have to focus to certain region in space. We want to constrain that flow domain, because even if you consider flow across an aeroplane, as you go, although when the airplane moves, the fluid nearby has certain relative velocity. However, when you take the fluid region very far away from the aeroplane, it's almost under the ambient conditions. So we take the, in case of an external flow problem, we take the shape and size of the domain after doing a study which is called as domain size independent studies. We keep on increasing the size of the domain and do CFD simulation until we find that with further increase in the size of the domain, there is no almost no change in the results. So if it's this is a problem corresponding to external flow across a cylinder, and if the cylinder is heated, then it also becomes a heat transfer problem. If the So note that the flow region in this case corresponds to the region in between. This is the rectangular boundary, which is an external boundary of the flow region. This is the solid circular cylinder. Here I am showing you a two-dimensional view. We are considering a two-dimensional flow across a circular cylinder. And the flow region in this case corresponds to the region in between outside this circular region and within this rectangular region. So in this case, there is a free stream flow across a circular cylinder. So there is an inlet from which the velocity is constant. Streamwise velocity is u infinity. The normal velocity is 0 and temperature is ambient. So the initial condition for the fluid is taken as the fluid is stationary, so the velocities are 0, and it is at ambient condition, the temperature is T infinity. We take the outlet boundary sufficiently far away from the body. Like if you're considering a flow across a car, it's extremely important to judiciously decide the position of the outlet boundary. And note that in fluid mechanics, the fluid enters from this is called as the inlet boundary, and it leaves from here, this is called as outlet boundary. So the outlet boundary, typically what we use is the fully developed flow boundary conditions. Now, we know the physics of the flow, so we understand that when the fluid passes through the circular cylinder, downstream of the cylinder, there is some vortex formation, and as it goes down, it reaches to a situation where the flow becomes fluid developed, in which case the streamwise gradient of velocities as well as the velocities are 0, as well as streamwise gradient of temperature is 0. And as it goes further downstream, finally, everywhere it becomes u infinity. So we take sufficiently far downstream boundary and we use an outlet boundary conditions. This is the top boundary and bottom boundary of the domain. Again, this is chosen such that with further increase in the height of the domain, there is no change, almost no change in the results. So as you move away from the object, very far away, u will be equal to u infinity. But at a smaller height, you will find a boundary. The fluid flow obeys a type of boundary condition which is called as free slip boundary condition, which means that the normal velocity at this boundary is equal to 0, and the normal gradient of tangential velocity is equal to 0, and the normal gradient of temperature is equal to 0. At the solid surface, note that there are two boundaries. What the boundary condition, what I showed, free slip inlet outlet corresponds to the external boundary. You also have an inner boundary corresponding to a solid. So at the solid surface, we have a no slip boundary condition. And if it's heat transfer problem, it can have either a constant wall temperature or a constant heat flux boundary condition, which is shown here. If it's a constant wall temperature, the temperature at this boundary is equal to TW. It's a constant heat flux, then the normal gradient of temperature is equal to minus of QW divided by K. As compared to external flow in an internal flow problem, like flow in a pipe, we are considering here a two-dimensional problem. So it's a flow in a plane channel where top and bottom are like a flat plate whose dimensions are very large, perpendicular to this plane. So in this case, the size of the domain is known to us. We know the height of the channel. And here there is a uniform flow at the inlet. So we know from fluid mechanics that this is the inlet boundary condition. And here we use an outlet boundary condition. We take the length of the domain sufficiently large that the fluid flow has become fully developed. All of you from fluid mechanics know that this is a problem corresponding to initially there is a developing and then finally the flow becomes fully developed. At the top and bottom wall, you have a solid surface, so there is a no slip boundary condition. And if it's also a heat transfer problem, then these walls may be at a different temperature, or there may be a constant heat flux boundary conditions, which is shown here. So in the top and bottom wall, the velocities are zero due to no slip. And these are the thermal boundary conditions corresponding to constant wall temperature and constant heat. The initial condition of in this case is also taken as the fluid is considered stationary and at an ambient temperature. Note that the fluid is entering at an ambient temperature. Initial condition is also ambient temperature. And the top and bottom wall are subjected to certain thermal boundary conditions. So whenever we do CFD applications, in this slide I've shown you the various class of problem: conduction, external flow problem, and internal flow problem. What are the different types of boundary conditions which we encounter? In a heat transfer problem, we encounter constant wall temperature, insulated, constant heat flux, and convective type of boundary condition. In an external flow problem, we encounter inlet, free slip boundary condition, and fully developed flow outlet boundary conditions. If it's non-isothermal flow, then we either encounter constant wall temperature or constant heat flux, which are respectively expressed in terms of constant temperature or a normal gradient of temperature. This slide shows the flowchart for application of a CFD software, where we start with initialization. In this step, we basically create the solid model, because whenever you consider fluid dynamics problem, the flow interacts with a solid which is either stationary or it is moving. Just to give an example, in the previous slide, the fluid was flowing over a solid object which is circular in shape. Here the fluid is flowing above the bottom wall of the channel and below the top wall of the channel. In this case, the fluid is interacting with the solid surface which is circular. In this case, the fluid flow is interacting with the solid surface which is like a flat plate. So in the when we start the CFD simulation, first we have to create the solid model. Like in previous problem, it's a much simpler problem. So in the solid model corresponding to a circular cylinder, we'll be basically modeling this object like a circular shape. Whereas in a flow in a plane channel, there are two flat plates. So, but if you consider a more complicated problem which are corresponding to an industrial situation, like if you want to simulate flow across a car, then you have to create a solid model for a car, and then you need a flow region in which you want to do simulations. So you consider a domain. Um, the flow across the circular cylinder, which I showed you in the previous slide, is also an external flow problem. So instead of circle, now we will have a car, and after getting the solid model, we decide the shape and size of the domain, and then we do grid generation. So all this comes under the initialization process. And then we also need to decide what is the working fluid corresponding to the simulation, so which basically decides the fluid property. And then the next step is solution control. Whenever we do simulations, in CFD, the simulations involve certain iterations. So we have certain convergence criteria. There are also some parameters like under relaxation factor, which we have to use many a times. So all this comes under the solution control. While the CFD simulation is occurring, you will want to monitor solutions, because, as I mentioned, that the solution goes on certain iterations. So we need to check whether the convergence is going properly. So we monitor certain solutions and do CFD calculations. Finally, we check for convergence. If it is converged, then we stop the solution. If it does not converge, then we do some modifications to make it converge. Now, basically, there are two types of modifications which are commonly done. One is called a solution parameter, where we try to reduce the under relaxation factor so that we get a convergence. And the second is, many times when we do a grid generation or a mesh generation, the quality of mesh basically decides the value of the relative value of the coefficient of the linear algebraic equations. Like just to give an example, if you have a linear algebraic equation as 3x plus 5y is equals to 10, versus if you have, let us say, 3x plus 10,000y is equals to 500, then you can see that there is a lot of difference between the coefficients. And whenever you do an iterative solution, and if there is a if you don't have a diagonal dominance, then you end up into situations where the solution do not converge. So basically, we modify the mesh if it is not converging. So either the convergence depend either on the solution parameter or the mesh. This is the reference book corresponding to this lecture. This is given in chapter 2 of the book. Thank you for your attention.